what you need to do, there are 4 holes at the outside. Now it has to align between that hole, this outside hole, and that hole, and that hole. So here we go, and then put this to here. Now they are lines, shouldn't go anywhere. Right. Now this is the first layer. We want to apply the second layer so that it's actually sit flat on the stencil. So now you should have these 2 pins bulge out like that. Now this is going to be this hole here has to go and align on this. Oh, wrong way. Yep. So now the PCB shouldn't move anyway. It should not move. So right. So before doing anything, we apply the isopropyl alcohol on top of the layer just to clean it before we applying the paste. Right. So we apply a spacer. This is the thickness of the PCB. So it's exactly the same thing. It had to sit through these 4 holes here. Right. Now take your stencil and align it. So let's say it's this one here. It has to align with this hole here. So you just position it correctly. You should see that it has no hole. No, it should sit at the correct footprint. You should not see the PCB solder mask. Alright, so exactly the same thing again. Take the isopropyl alcohol and just wipe it to clean it out before we apply the paste. Okay, so the paste here, I recommend to, once you finish the paste, just put it back into the fridge to ensure that this paste is not getting hard when it sits in the room temperature. So now what you do, it's your preference. You could also do it this way and do it that way, or you could do this way. So it's your choice, but I prefer to do it like bit by bit. So if you do it this way, because there are so many holes across this, it's going to take a lot of the paste, and sometimes it runs out in the middle way. So sometimes that could cause the potential problems such as uneven solder paste. So now take a paste. So make it sit on top like this. So as you can see, there's a paste at the side of the credit card. Now have a look. So you apply at the top like that, right? Now make sure that this one, do not put it at a 90 degrees, because if the stencil and the card is at 90 degrees, when you swap it, this thing is not going to stick really well. It's not gonna go and fill all these holes. So it has to be, so the optimum angle is at 45 degrees. So you just slowly apply the paste. Right. Now you put a little bit of pressure on top. So you should see. So I missed some of this hole. So all you do, just do that again, 45 degrees, and just wipe it across like that. Alright. Now do the same thing a couple of times. Slowly. So you should see that all of this paste should go inside the holes, all of those pockets. So complete again, 45 degrees, put a little bit of pressure, just swipe it across like that. Okay, so and the 90 degree, you only use it for cleaning all this leftover. So 90 degrees, just swipe it like that. So now it's clean. So there is this part left, so I'm going to finish it. I just swipe it across slowly. Alright. Okay, so you can actually swipe across this to clean, but it has to be 90 degrees like that. Alright. Swipe it across like this. So right now it's clean. You can be carefully take out this stencil holder. Alright. Now, as you can see, this is perfectly pasted. Zoom in. So you could see that it's perfectly pasted. See this hole here for microcontrollers. Those are really high torrent, but we perfectly apply the paste. Alright. Now let's try another PCB. So this time, exactly the same procedure. You align this hole here. Right? Take the old stencil, take that out. Same thing again. So exactly the same procedure. You see there is a chip's footprint here. So that usually indicates that this one belongs to that. So if you actually have a look and align that footprint, right, properly, you can see this is the correct orientation. So you see this. So if it's not correct orientation, you can see this is not correct orientation. So if it's correct orientation, it's gonna look like this. Right? Now the same procedure as before. Put it onto the stencil holder and have 4 tapes to hold this stencil in place. Okay, so chucked in. Same. This side. This side. This side. Okay, so same procedure. Make sure that this hole here align with that. Now you put it on top like this. Alright, so you should see exactly the same thing as before, that all these holes are aligned and you should not see any PCB solder mask. Okay, now same procedure again. Take the alcohol and just wipe it clean. So before I did on the PCB because I touched it. Now right now because I cleaned this, it should clean tile PCB. Alright, now at this point I'm going to go from top to bottom, exactly the same thing as before, because it has a shorter like less holes to go through. Alright, so start by grabbing more paste here. Alright, like that. Now put it on top. Make sure the paste is actually sticking, so it's sticking to the stencil. Now again 45 degrees and just slowly drag it across the stencil. Okay, same thing again. You have to make sure all the holes are filled. Alright, so 90 degrees to clean it. So start again. Slowly dragging it like that. Alright, same thing as this. Slowly dragging it. Make sure it has a pressure. Alright, so I clean with the 90-degree angle. And then 45 degrees. Have a little bit of pressure. And just drag it across like that. Okay, so make sure all the holes are filled. So check against the light. It looks like this hole is not filled correctly, so I'm going to restart that again. So 45 degrees and just drag it across like that. Alright. So 90 degrees to clean all the paste. Right. Check, make sure all the holes are filled with the paste. So at the moment I can see there are some of them are still missing a little bit. So I'm just gonna do that again, 45 degrees, and just drag it across like that. Alright, so that should be correctly pasted. So careful lifting, make sure you're not horizontally shifting the stencil holder. Take that out and PCB should be correctly pasted. Right. So you can see this hole here, it is correctly pasted. So once you reflow that paste, it should be reflow really well. All of this correctly pasted. All right. And that's it. That's the end of procedure.